Hey Reactors, I'm Erica and I'm the host of the Relatable Reactions podcast where we react to real stories from the interwebs. This episode features one of my good friends for about a decade, Matt, or as I call him, BBK. And that's short for Boo Boo Kitty, but y'all don't need to know the backstory on that nickname. Say hello.
Hello.
BBK and I met at work when he joined as an HR business partner and we had some fun times. I don't work there anymore, but he does and he's doing big things. He's also my neighbor and I'm thrilled he agreed to do an episode with me. He's joining me this episode to chat about 8 stories focusing on relationships, marriage, co-workers, and more. I'll read a story, we'll talk about it, give quasi advice about what we would do, then we'll move on to the next story. Before we begin, hit the subscribe button so you can catch future episodes on your favorite podcast platform. All right, BBK, are you ready to hear the first story? Okay, so this one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Uninviting a Perpetually Late Friend from a Group Dinner? I have a large chosen family. Family gatherings for us are frequently 20 plus people and we do big potluck meals for holidays and special occasions. A very close and longtime friend of mine is part of this chosen family and I love her like my own sister, chosen and otherwise. My problem? She literally cannot be on time. She lives over an hour away and usually doesn't leave until after she's supposed to be here. Her husband and I even will arrange to tell her 2 to 3 hours before everyone else is expected, and she still always manages to be later than everyone else. I've talked to her about this several times. We have even fought about it before. I feel it's disrespectful to not only me as the hostess, but everyone else here. To be clear, it's not just our gathering she's late to, it's everything, and we have come to expect it. Due to the pandemic, we haven't had a family gathering in 2+ years. This is the first one since COVID started. We told them a time, which was earlier than everyone else, and when I confirmed ETA this morning, was told they're running behind due to circumstances outside their control, and would be leaving about 1.5 to 2 hours after their requested arrival time, putting them here 2 hours after everyone else and after dinner was scheduled, even though they're bringing an important side dish. I lost my crap to my husband, venting because this would delay the rest of the dishes and everything would be cold. Everyone would be waiting on them and some had to leave early so dinner would be rushed. He agreed and messaged them, don't bother coming, to which I agreed before he sent it. They left all the group chats we had together, basically said, we know where we're not wanted, and I think I'm blocked. I know this had to be done, but there's never in over 10 years of friendship been repercussions for the tardiness. And it's not like 15 or 30 minutes fashionably late, but I was raised that it's rude to uninvite someone to a planned gathering, especially the day of. What say you? Am I the asshole?
Yes. I think you're both assholes.
Why? Why both?
Well, first of all, if you're a chosen family member, that is not your family.
Oop.
If they are always late, they are not your family.
Oop.
Second of all, just don't invite them anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's too stressful.
It's stressful, and have your dinner without them. If you don't got to wait for them to show up and rush dinner. Just move on without them. They can take over leftovers. They could eat while the rest of the people are eating, or they could
eat outside.
They could stay their ass at home.
Yeah,
one of the two.
And you know what? Like I know some people who are like that in my life. Like I honestly think it's something they can't help. Like some people are just late to be late.
Right.
Some people are late because it's a control thing. Like, you're not going to tell me where to be and when, so I'm going to get there when I get there. And then some people are just, I don't know, their day gets away from them. But the fact that she said, I've repeatedly told her about this, we fought about this before, and then 2 hours late to a planned dinner when you bring in the mac and cheese.
Well, listen, you need to have a backup of the mac and cheese.
Exactly.
Because you can't have a dinner party without it. That's number one.
Facts.
The second part of that is, why are you beefing about it?
Yeah.
You just need to show each other some grace.
Mm-hmm.
And
but how many times of grace I give to you for being late? Once, twice?
Twice. Unless
3
there was
times.
an accident, somebody fell on their head, someone slipped. I don't care what it is, but you need to be on time or reasonably close to the time.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
Traffic, things like that. But this is your chosen family. You need to choose wiser. Number one.
She said she treat her like her sister now. And maybe that's it. Maybe, family, I think family is always crossing boundaries. I think my friends understand boundaries with me better than family. Like, oh, that's just Matt having another dinner party. It ain't a big deal. We'll be there when we get there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But at the same time, the friend needs to understand that this topic has come up before. And if you are perpetually late to everything, you need to stay your late ass at home.
Yeah. And don't expect any more invites. So the part that is really getting me is like when she said they left the group chat and blocked me. Like, so they pissed because they were uninvited. Do they have a right to be mad?
No.
Exactly.
They don't have a right to be mad.
You can't be late and mad.
Right.
For being
You got to be one or the other. You're either late and apologetic, or your dumbass is mad and don't give two shits about what anyone else is thinking about.
Exactly.
But you left the mac and cheese off the menu? I mean, that's a responsibility.
Yeah. And I would say, like, even if, so before I would say you're uninvited to this one. If I said, Matt, you're always late and you're bringing the mac and cheese, I would tell Sarah on the side, like, hey, bring some mac and cheese in case, Matt, in case I got to uninvite this man.
You have to have a backup plan for those important dishes. And why did you give the responsibility for such an important dish to the lady who's late every time?
That's asinine. And so
tell her to bring the napkins. I mean, give something that's
tell her to bring the drama. Like, come empty. Just bring yourself.
Right. Just come to the house. Don't give her something as important as the mac and cheese now.
Okay, so what do you think about because you have dinner parties a lot. Like, so do you just say they're going to be late, let's sit down and eat? Because she mentioned here the food would be cold. No, we sitting down at the time that we said, and if they come, they come, right?
Absolutely.
No one's waiting on them to come.
My guests are not suffering because your ass couldn't get in the car on time.
Yeah.
No. She absolutely should not let her food suffer. That's the whole part. I mean, the part about gathering and talking is so important, but so is the food. That's why everybody is there. And
look, if you want to drop the food off late and then leave,
right? But you're going to serve them cold food and no mac and cheese because your friend was late,
right?
You ain't the hostess with the mostess
I'm not
anymore.
Eating crackers and cheese for 3 hours waiting on
Just
girl.
give them Triscuits and a biscuit and they'll be done. You need to not invite that friend anymore.
Right. Do you think the friendship should be over because of this, though?
No. You just have to change the rules of your friendship. Mm-hmm. We may not be able to socialize in groups. We might
timed events.
Right. Or timed events. We may just need to show up at some point during an 8-hour day to say hello to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's, there's a little too much ego going on there if you're going to end a friendship.
Yeah.
Especially if there's other things that it's anchored on.
Yeah.
Just change the way that you connect with one another.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the author of this story says that the other person, the one that was late, may have ended the friendship that she cherished.
She
so
wasn't
would you
your friend to begin with.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If
she's mad for being uninvited because she did something wrong, it's not like you just uninvited her for nothing. She was wrong. So if she's mad about that and doesn't want to be your friend anymore, then Matt is correct.
We got to go back to what you said. You can't be late and mad.
You can't have your cake, your mac and cheese, and eat it too.
Well, she ate the whole pan because there was no one to share it with. And she got uninvited from the dinner party. But no, she can't be mad and late.
Yeah.
And if she unfriended you and blocked you, she was not your friend or your family to begin with.
Facts.
All facts.
I
100%.
I agree with that.
That mac and cheese better have been good, too, because she lost a whole decade of friendship over it.
But let me tell you, if the broad was bringing some Brussels sprouts, let us sleep where she's staying, okay? Because I don't do you like Brussels sprouts?
No,
I can't get with them.
You could stay home with those.
The balsamic vinegar, the bacon wrapped, I've tried them every single way, and I'm like, they still taste like ass. I don't know why they taste like...
Taste and smell.
Taste and smell. I rather they're on the same wavelength as chitlins to me. You can keep them.
That's why you invite her to bring that, not the mac and cheese. It's a dish that doesn't matter. The Brussels sprouts. Oh, we don't have those, but I got this for you.
Yeah, we're not missing them.
Okay. They're in whatever town my friend's in because she didn't leave for 2 hours to come here. We were going to eat 2 hours ago.
And was probably mad because I was just on my way. We already started driving. Turn around.
You God gave you a U-turn skill for something. Turn that stuff around and go right back home.
Recalculating.
Then they drive off into the ocean or the lake because the navigation didn't be telling you to go drive into the middle of Lake Michigan.
You know that happened to me before. I was like, once you get downtown Chicago with that navigation, she don't know where to send you. She almost sent us into Lake Michigan off of a bridge. She said, make a left. And I'm like, no, that's the ocean. That's the lake right there.
She was probably hoping her friend went into the ocean with that mac and cheese too. Sink right to the bottom of that lake with it.
All right. Next story. This one's titled, My Partner of 2 years Just Moved Out Without Any Explanation. You ready?
They
just ghosted. They gone. Come home from work. You're not here, and your things are not here. So the author, I'm just gonna preview. The author seems to be clueless in this, like intentionally obtuse, because you must have done something for this to happen. I'll read the story now. My girlfriend Katie and I have been together 2 years. She moved into my apartment about 6 months ago, and everything has been going well, or so I thought. We never really fought. We had very similar values and ambitions. I was even going to propose later this year on her birthday. I had to go to work today, and Katie had a day off from her job. She told me this morning she was just going to stay at home, do some general tidying around the house while I was gone, and just rest before she goes back to work tomorrow. I kissed her goodbye this morning and left as usual. Nothing at all seemed out of the ordinary. Now, today I got home from work around 5:30, and as soon as I opened the front door, I noticed the door key had been pushed through the letterbox. Katie's front door key. I called out to her and couldn't find her. I searched the house wondering where she was. This is when I noticed a few things were missing. Her coat, which is usually hung up by the front door, was gone. All of her shoes, and trust me, she has a lot, were missing from the shoe rack. And as I looked more, I noticed every single one of her belongings were gone too. Literally everything, all of her clothes, books, her phone charger, which is usually plugged in at her side of the bed. Even her shampoos and body washes were gone. Every single item she owned was no longer in our apartment. I immediately called her phone, which rang until it went to voicemail. I've texted her several times, but had no reply. I checked my Facebook to see if I've been blocked by her, and that's when I realized she left. I honestly have no idea why. She's never mentioned any issues she's been having. I've done everything I can to be the best partner for her, and I don't understand what I've done. Our apartment was absolutely immaculate, though. The floor had been hoovered, the kitchen had been completely wiped down, the trash had been taken out, even our bed was perfectly made with fresh sheets and the extra pillows placed on it like she always does. I tried contacting her mother, but I just go through the voicemail. So far, I've only been able to reach out to her sister, who said she wasn't sure what happened. I'm honestly at a loss for words, and I don't know what to do. It seems so sudden and unexpected that she do this. She had no reason to leave as far as I'm aware. What do I do next? Do I leave it to her and maybe she'll contact me when she's ready? Do I try and contact her and her family more to try and make sense of all of this? I'm honestly at a loss right now. The end.
Well, what he should do is file a missing persons report. Let's start there.
Really?
I mean, a whole person moved out and you noticing that the shampoo isn't there. Like,
not the Jergens.
Right. The Jergens is gone. The phone charger is gone. The coat's not hooked up. A whole person.
She pushed the key. She left the key through the letterbox.
Wait.
Through the mail slot.
Did he even live there? Because you don't just wake up one day and move out. Was he not living there to realize there was a problem going on?
Was she a figment of his imagination?
You know what? This is some supernatural stuff.
Yeah, maybe it's body snatchers.
Yeah. So, they finally came down from space and took
gathered
one.
her. They gathered her up.
Yeah, took her one up.
And all her stuff.
The Jergens, too. Don't forget about that Jergens.
But she cleaned before she left. The aliens
she
cleaned up.
She left that house with her middle finger up and said, "Good day, sir. Good day. I'm out."
Fuck you and the horse you rode in.
Right. And the key. You could keep the key too. The sister don't know what happened. And you need to move on.
They know.
They
the family know.
They know. File a missing persons report and move on.
And let the police see how ridiculous you are.
What should I do?
You've done something. What have you done is the question. Think back hard. What kind of... Are you controlling? Are you a controlling boyfriend? Are you insulting sometimes and you think you're just giving constructive feedback? Like, think closely about your own behavior, because a woman just does not vanish into thin air after being with you for 2 years.
And 6 months.
And living with you for 6 months.
Right. Or was she just a figment of his imagination?
He made it all up.
He's dating.
Have y'all seen my blow up doll? She blew away.
The real doll. He's messing around with the real doll.
He got a Bratz doll.
But
isn't that weird?
It's a little narcissistic too, if you think
him.
about it. Right, of him.
Yeah.
Because, like, did you live there with her? Like, that's the part I don't understand. You can't just live with someone for 6 months and then they just disappear. You had to have something. I don't believe him when he said everything was going good. No, it wasn't.
We never fought.
Right. You didn't think you were fighting, but she sure in the hell thought something was not up, because you don't just disappear. First of all, can we also go back? Why did she clean the house before she left? I would have left everything as it was, took my Jergens, and walked out the front door.
I would have left blood on the dance floor. I would have left. You would have known I was there, so that you would know that I was also gone.
I walked in the house and her coat wasn't there. Maybe she was on a walk.
A walk with some luggage?
With all the luggage, the boxes. She was dollying down the street with that stuff.
She had some totes. What's funny is he's like, she said that she was just going to stay home today and do some general tidying. Oh, she stayed home and tidied, all right?
Right, she moved all that shit right out.
She wiped her fingerprints off everything.
Everything. You know what? Maybe he should be scared. If she cleaned that house, maybe she's coming back for him.
Or maybe she cleaned the house. It was this crime scene. What did she do in the house? She had to run. She's a felon. She did something and she had to skip town.
Yeah, call the police. Missing persons. I'm telling you, they got to put a bolo out on the girlfriend.
A bolo?
Find out where she's at.
A bolo on the YOLO.
Right. Where did she go? And when is she? Should I reach out to her? No, dummy.
Why not?
Just let her go, because she
obviously don't want to be contacted.
Right. She didn't tell you she was moving. She didn't tell you there was a problem, allegedly. But leave her alone. Let her go.
Yeah.
Let her do her thing. You move on. But maybe don't move in with someone so soon next time. Or do some self-reflecting.
That's what
I don't know.
I think. Instead of coming, to the internet of strangers, like you can't be this obtuse. Like you are some guys clueless about their own behavior. They can't see themselves. They can only see what you do. Sure. That's what this is. You've done something. You've said something to her that insulted her, made her feel. Why is she even at home? Is she like a stay-at-home girlfriend? Like, don't you leave this house? Like,
right. Well, and it had to have been on repeat, because you don't just have, I guess someone could have an argument realistically, and then that's enough.
Yeah.
But in this situation, you're living together 6 months. Something happened.
Yes.
Something.
Yeah.
But pull up the blink cams in the house and watch your behavior.
Pull up your text messages and see how you talk to her.
See if the Ring doorbell videotaped anything inside the house and outside. Something happened.
You did something.
Or someone came and got her. There's only two options.
You know what I mean? That's the realism that we're giving you. You did something, or the aliens did something. All I know is there's an innocent woman involved.
And the sister don't know what happened.
And the sister and the mama are like, we have no idea. She's in witness protection right now.
Oh, yeah, she's in witness. But he found out on Facebook she moved. It wasn't enough to see that her Jergens was gone and the coat was missing, and she left the key.
He couldn't believe it. He had to check every angle. He had to make sure that he wasn't, going crazy. She up and left, took all her stuff. You was going at work and she was going to work.
Right.
Packing up her stuff.
That truck pulled up so quick.
For real. She couldn't wait for you to leave.
Out of sight.
Exactly.
Down the street and around the corner, that truck was there. She did find time to clean the house. So props to her for making all this happen during the work day.
Exactly. She might have had a cleaning crew come through.
Right.
But I want to go back to the beginning when he said that I was going to propose to her later this year on her birthday. Is that something? Like maybe she's been waiting for you to... You've been together 2 years, but you've been living together 6 months. 2 years is a long time. Maybe she was like, "What a ring at? Like I'm impatient. I can't wait." You know what I mean? Maybe she was expecting to level up on their relationship, and he wasn't doing it or dragging his feet, and so she was like, "I'm gone. I've told you enough times. I'm out of here."
Right, but
it's got to be something.
But then that kind of turns on her then. So you have these expectations, but did you communicate? And maybe she did communicate them.
Yeah.
But you just disappear. You say, "I'm just going to enjoy my day off today, clean the house a little bit. Oh, and by the way, I'm moving out."
She said that to herself.
Right. "I'm taking my loofah, the Jergens, the phone charger, and leaving you the key."
Her books, her clothes, her charger, all her shoes that she had.
She had a lot of shoes.
She gone.
She said too, a lot of shoes. But so if that was the case, right? Like she was waiting for him to take
level
the
up
commitment and make that step. If that relationship was strong, you would have had a conversation that, listen, we've been together 2 years. We've been living together 6 months.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's time.
People don't just wait for a surprise. Couples, at least I'm off the market because I'm as single as they could be.
Me too.
But I would think that couples would have a conversation if they're making a lifelong commitment like that. And it's not a surprise to one or the other. So I don't know.
Yeah, because
I mean, it could be.
Sometimes the next step after moving in is naturally maybe to a woman, "Oh, wedding bells are nearby."
Sure.
Because he asked me to move in with him. Like, we're progressing. And then 6 months goes by and she's like,
you just peace out.
We still boyfriend and girlfriend? Okay, I got to go.
Right. You just peace out. Today's Wednesday. I'm moving. Bye.
The other side of the coin, Matt, that I want to say is, sometimes women, like you could do something to a woman that's really small. And men might be like, that was nothing. Like, we got over that. But keep adding up those little small things. And you keep forgetting because you think they're small. But in her brain, they're adding up. And 20 plus 20 equaled 40 today. And she out.
She was keeping receipts for 2
score.
years and 6 months.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Of things that he's done, said. It had to be something.
Something pushed her over the edge.
Insulting her, talking down to her. Like something you did that you don't think you did. But I just need some self-reflection.
But, okay. On the other side of that, she could be, doing a little something on the side.
True. She got another little tenderoni
She got a hustle going on.
Ooh.
And that hustle was a little more committed. She needed something new and didn't want to break his heart. Thought it would be too dramatic and then just up and left. I mean,
that's a strong possibility. But it's shitty if you just can't tell him.
Right.
Okay, so maybe you leave. Maybe you take that opportunity to leave. But then when he texts you, be like, this is no longer working for me. Like over text, whatever. You have to say something, I think.
I'm going back to the alien theory.
Oh,
she just got beamed up and that's it. She's gone.
Damn. You know what? Me and Matt are going to do a whole paranormal episode because, I love ghosts and demons and Bigfoot and Dogman and...
Ooh, Bigfoot just scooped her up and she's running through the forest with the
Me love Jane. Me take Jane.
Yeah, Jane's running through the forest with her shoes, her tote, Jergens, and a loofah sponge.
And a leaf covering her nether regions.
Right.
Jane is gone, okay?
Right.
She found her a nice strong man.
He
hairy, but...
These two clearly did not have a good relationship because there was some mutual communication that did not take place.
Totally.
Because you don't just up and leave. Unless, what if she took an Ambien and didn't know she was moving out?
She just on autopilot?
She just on autopilot. Where in the hell is Carmen Sandiego? You know what I mean? Like, she's just gone.
She took an Ambien?
Didn't know she was packing up her stuff. They say, I don't know, I never took one. They say you do some crazy stuff on that.
Really? I gotta get me an Ambien.
Right.
It sounds like shrooms to me. But bruh, when you asking what do I do next? Do I, let her contact me when she's ready? Do I try to it's hard, but leave it alone for a little bit.
Do I?
And think about what you look into yourself because you've done something. You don't think you did. Big or small, minute, you've done something.
I mean,
and you need to figure it out.
This guy want to know if he should let her contact. She didn't tell you she was moving out. She ain't contacted you.
Probably not. You probably never gonna hear from her again.
It's over. It's over, bud.
Leave her family out of it too, because that's awkward. Oh, yeah. How would you feel if somebody texted you like, "Have you seen Erica?" Huh? Now I'm in the middle of this, and I don't want to be in the middle. Leave her family out of it. Do not text her mama and her sister anymore, please.
That's too much.
Sorry, dude, but either you did something or she left you for Bigfoot. Moving on. Next story. It's called, "Am I the asshole for telling an employee she can choose between demotion or termination?" You got two choices, broad. You can either leave or you can go back down a rung.
Oh, this one's going to be good.
Okay. So this guy says, "I own a vape shop. We're a small business, only 12 employees. One of my employees, Peggy," fake name, "was supposed to open yesterday. Peggy has recently been promoted to a manager after 2 solid years of good work as a cashier. I really thought she could handle the responsibility. So I wake up 3 hours after the place should be open, and I have 22 notifications on the store Facebook page. Customers have been trying to come to the shop, but the store is closed. Employees are showing up to work, but they're locked out. I call Peggy and I get no response. I text her, same thing. So I go in and open the store, and an hour before her shift was supposed to be over, she calls me back. I ask her if she's okay, and she says she needed to take a mental health day and do some self-care. I'm still pretty pissed at this point, but I'm trying to be understanding, as I know how important mental health can be. So I ask her why she didn't call me as soon as she knew she needed the day off. Her response, I didn't have enough spoons in my drawer for that. Frankly, I don't know what that means, but it seems to me like she's saying she can't be trusted to handle the responsibility of opening the store in the morning. So I told her that she had 2 choices. 1, go back to her old cashier position with her old pay. Or 2, I fire her completely. She's calling me all sorts of ists now and says I'm discriminating against her due to her poor mental health and her gender. None of this would have been a problem if she simply took 2 minutes to call out. I would have got up, opened the store on time myself. But this no call, no show shit is not the way to run a successful business. I think I might be the asshole here because I'm taking away her promotion over something she really had no control over. But at the same time, she really could have called me. So I leave it to you. Am I the asshole?
Okay, first of all, Peggy, fake name. She took some of the product home and wasn't able to get to work the next day. That could be the only reason that Peggy didn't come into the vape shop
it's
that
not
day.
It's not a mental health day, Matthew?
I mean, it could be a mental health day, but...
Because she's stoned out of her mind?
Or CBD'd all the way out. I mean, she ate a truckload of whatever it was that was in that shop.
You made me manager, which means I get to have my free picking.
Right. It's called a bonus, sir. But... Okay, so the reason he is an asshole is because you're giving her a choice. Like, how do you expect to recover that kind of employment relationship ever? And first of all...
And how do you expect her to answer?
First of all, no call, no show needs to be 3 days in a row. And she called. She called an hour before her shift was over. So technically, she did advise him of her absence.
Damn, man.
I'm just saying.
You know that's bogus?
I'm just saying.
What's their HR policy? Because it sounds like they're a small shop. Do you even have an HR handbook?
That was a late notification, yes, but a notification nonetheless. She called. Yeah. Now, she did call, so he can't call it a no-call, no-show now.
But even if it's past her start time, that's technically she didn't call, she didn't show by her start time. I mean, you the expert here,
right?
But 9 a.m. when 9:01 comes, you didn't call, you didn't show at 9 a.m. No,
but also too, like, you didn't check to make sure your store operations were running. You waited 3 hours.
He was asleep.
Right. Too much product. That's what I'm telling you. These people are too much product.
High around
right.
here.
Too much product. Too much product is what I'm going with there.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally inappropriate that she didn't call. But on the same token, people can call in And sometimes you're too sick to make that call before your shift starts.
That's
Now,
true.
I get it.
That's true.
I get that when you're a manager and you've got the responsibility to open the store, you should have a level of responsibility to notify someone, hey, the store's supposed to open in an hour and I'm not going to be there. I get that.
Yeah.
That's being an asshole. But you're going to demote her because she had to call in? I mean, she's the only one that works in the store at the time. What happened to the other people who were waiting to get, the employees who were waiting to get in?
You know,
did they call him? I mean, there's only 12 people that work there. They all have each other's phone numbers. Something's not right.
He found out on Facebook.
Right. See, he found out on Facebook like the last guy. But something else is going on here that you didn't know for 3 hours. That your store, you're the owner, right? He's the owner. That your store wasn't open.
That's a good point, because if it's my store and if I'm not obligated to be there, I'm still awake to make sure it happened, and then maybe I'll go back to sleep, right? Like he slept through the start time of his own store.
Or like you're doing invoices, something from home, like. Scheduling. Where's your responsibility to make sure the store is open, sir? And my other question, how long has she been a manager?
Peggy has recently been promoted after 2 years
It
of
could have been
cashier.
yesterday. Peggy was promoted yesterday, and I demoted her today.
Yeah.
I mean, this gentleman's not taking any responsibility for his own actions.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was right that he gave her an option of demotion or termination. I think he should have just told her, listen,
if this happens again,
or this isn't going to work out, if this is how it's going to go, what do you want to do? Not either take the people's money for their order or you're out. Those are your choices. I mean, who's going to fire him because he didn't know his store open for 3 hours?
The customer's going to fire him.
Right.
Keep having these shitty employees.
And then you only had 22 customers in 3 hours.
That's not what he said.
He had 22 posts on Facebook.
Saying, open up.
Open up, right.
Do you think... So I don't know much about retail, but the role of cashier and then jumping to a manager, I feel like, is there a senior or a lead in between there, like where you don't have where you don't have the keys to the castle? Like maybe he promoted her too soon. Or how about an
assistant manager?
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Maybe you, as the owner, still have to open the store while you train someone the opening store. The key here is we need to know when Peggy was promoted, because was she fully trained in her job? Did she understand that if she was not sick, what would happen or who she's supposed to call?
That's a good point, because me and Deb talked about before, like how people are always promoted to manager and to, having people under them because they did their current job really well. It doesn't mean that I'm great as a leader. So what training has she had to be a man? She was a cashier. I don't know what she's done in her previous life. Maybe she's been a manager before somewhere else, but here she was a cashier. What made you think she was good enough to jump from that role, and I'm not trying to diminish that role, but y'all know what I mean, to being a manager and having the keys to the castle and that much responsibility.
And all that product, too, because
it
caused her to have a sick day or a mental health day, as she called it. Well, no, you're absolutely right. People often get promoted into increasingly responsibility type jobs because they did so well in the job that they had, but that was the wrong decision to make, and you don't find out till later. Yeah. So you're right. That could be one of the situation, but I really think that he's to blame here. How did you die? I don't understand how you own a store. That is your livelihood.
And you weren't
and
awake.
You didn't know for 3 hours that your store wasn't open.
Facts.
He was with Peggy. They were hanging out together.
Wait a minute.
He was with Peggy, and
Plot
it didn't
twist.
go well. It didn't go well. Peggy got pissed. And now he has to retaliate against her because she didn't want it. I mean, I don't know.
Now he being called all kind of ists and discriminating against her because of her mental health and her gender. Like, is this a lawsuit? Could Peggy sue?
I think, listen, people sue for far less worse.
Because you breathed in my direction.
Right. Or you looked funny, or you saw something in my house on my Zoom call, and now all of a sudden, you're treating me differently.
Right.
So anybody could file a charge at any time, right? The question becomes, were there other factors to consider here that we didn't know. You know, did he have unreasonable demands? Did he treat her differently?
Yeah.
You know, did he promote her to cover something else up?
He promoted her so that he wouldn't have to open the store, so he could sleep lit.
Clearly,
so
we know he's dipping into his product. Sales have not been good.
You know what?
I mean, but she absolutely could sue him. It's hard to say whether or not she would win because we don't know all the factors in the case.
Right. So I have an update. Would you like to hear an update?
Oh, I want to hear the update. The store's closed. The county shut them down.
For sale. A vacant lot.
Out of business.
Really quick, it's a little bit long, but he says that Peggy reached out to me yesterday, apologized, and asked if we could meet for lunch. We met up, and the first thing she did was apologize again for the no call, no show, and also for her reaction to my response. She admitted that she knows I'm not sexist or ableist and explained that she was lashing out due to her mental state. I accepted her apology and offered one of my own, both for giving her too much responsibility too quickly and also for reacting out of emotion. She explained to me that she had a major issue on Monday, and without getting into too much detail, I'll just say that it was the anniversary of a bad thing. She's taking all of her accumulated PTO, which is about 9 weeks, and we've agreed that going forward, I'm not going to put her on the schedule on that day ever again. She admitted that she's not up to the role of manager. When she returns, she will be in the role of lead cashier, a role I created specifically for her. This way, she can keep her raise and not feel like she got a demotion, but rather a lateral transfer. I've also let her know that if she ever feels like she's up to more responsibility, she can let me know, and I'll put her right back on track for the manager spot. I've also let her know that if she's ever in a position where she's not able to call out, she can simply text me a thumbs down emoji, and I will accept that as notice that she will be missing her next shift. She's agreed that that will be okay, even when she's out of spoons.
There's so much to unpack with that response. First of all, it was handled the right way. You gave her job back. What I don't know is, were you afraid of getting sued because you were up to some shady shit, sir? But second of all, it was not a no-call, no-show. She called you before her shift ended. Let's get the facts straight, sir. She called you and said she wasn't coming in.
Matt, if I get off of work at 5 and I call you at 4:55 and I say, "Hey,
called.
You
really?
Called.
Yes, you called.
Wow, that's
now,
good to know.
If the policy says you need to call within an hour of your start, that's different. So we need to know what the policy says.
We need to know if you have a policy and what it is, because these small businesses, typically they don't have an employee handbook. It's like everything is made up at that moment.
But may I ask how a small business has a lead cashier too? You have 12 employees. This is not Walmart, sir.
All right.
I mean, and first of all, you and me, we need to quit and sign up with this guy, because if she has 9 weeks of accumulated PTO,
I want to work for you.
Right. How do you?
No wonder she has mental health. She ain't been taking time off work.
Right. And I'm mentally unhealthy for 9 weeks of PTO.
You got me vaping in this shop for 2 years without a break. Look at me. I'm in shambles.
And was my drawer ever short? I needed to know.
Okay. Right. I did right by you.
I mean, the way that it ended, I think, was amicable and reasonable.
He got to keep a good employee. They talked it out. I guess she's a good employee.
I would be giving him thumbs down for 9 weeks, just every morning. Thumbs down, even on Saturday and Sunday.
It's midnight on a Tuesday. Right, thumbs down.
I'm in the break room. Thumbs down.
Can't take it no more. I'm leaving.
Right. Just midday.
Right. She just goes, disappears in the middle of the day. He's like, where'd she go? He looks at her phone. Thumbs down. God damn
She's out with the girlfriend from the story before. They got beamed up into the universe. Thumbs down.
Next story. So this story is titled, My Best Friend Cheated and I Know.
Oh.
So the author says, my best friend cheated on her spouse with an old fling who has used and abused her from day one.
Oh, dumb.
She was never able to fully let him go, despite being in her current relationship for 3 years. A few months ago, she went over to his house, told her husband she was going to a friend's, and they ended up sleeping together. He, of course, ghosted her immediately as his MO. She was deeply hurt, but now is feeling great. She feels she got the closure she needed from this guy and is moving on with her life, planning her wedding, in which I am her maid of honor. Here's the thing, though. The guilt is eating me alive. My husband and I are very close with her and her husband, and every time I see him, I feel terrible for knowing something like this and not telling him. My best friend absolutely refuses to tell him, as she knows this is her deal breaker and he'll leave her, plus will expose all the lies she told him about this particular person over the years. I know it's not my place to tell him, and she genuinely seems happier, and the relationship is going better now that she's gotten her closure, but I don't know how to swallow the guilt and stand by her and her husband as the maid of honor, knowing what I know. The end. Don't you say a fucking word.
All right. So here we go. All right. First of all, she needs to tell the guy. She doesn't need to swallow the guilt. If you are his friend too, you tell your friends, you look out for your friends. If it were me, I would get a billboard that shows at the wedding so he could see it as they're walking down.
Look, I would get an advertisement placed on Jenny Jones.
Right, Jenny Jones, Sally, Jesse, Raphael. Or they could rent one of those cars that has like the electronic sign on the top and drive it around the parking lot of the venue.
She's not faithful, brother.
She needed
ask her questions.
What did she need closure of? If he was abusive towards her, what were you closing? The only thing you should have been closing was the door. That's what you should have done.
Cold case files
right.
on his ass.
From a long time ago, close the door. Don't go back. Don't mess around with it.
Yeah.
Listen, I hate cheating.
Yes. It's disgusting.
It's hurtful. It's wrong. It's narcissistic.
The amount of deceit and deception that you have to weave, or like we already said, told her husband she was going to her friends. Like the lies on top of the lies on top of the lies, in addition to the cheating, is what makes it so, such a deal breaker for me.
What if that ex comes to the wedding and contests their marriage?
I'd invite his ass.
He should
as
be
the friend.
He should be the friend's date.
Oh,
leave the husband at home. This is my +2.
Remember him?
Surprise.
Y'all got something y'all want to talk about?
Right. But that's my wedding gift to you. I'm exposing you and your lies.
When the pastor says, "Is there anybody who objects to this marriage?" You standing up at the front with your flowers. You're like, get up, stand up.
I mean, I would tell.
Matthew.
I would.
So you'd ruin your friendship with the woman and possibly improve your relationship with the like. There is no winner here.
I wouldn't be doing it to improve or dissolve a relationship.
You would be doing it because it's the
right
thing to do.
And that's just that's me.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do. It's not fair even to her friend, even to we'll call her the cheaters. Okay. Maybe they should get on the show Cheaters.
Right.
We're standing outside of the barbecue grill.
They're going in now.
Right. Just open the doors. Everybody runs in after them. But
I can't believe you.
Right. And then ensue the fighting and the physicalness. But I believe that people should do the right thing. Now, I'm not a saint. I don't do the right thing all the time.
Yeah.
But that, I don't know. It's
is it weighing more heavily that way for you because she's involved in the wedding? Like, say there was no wedding and you just knew that this particular evil, bad thing had happened. Maybe you would just distance yourself and, tell you and your husband, like, there's something going on over there I don't want to be a part of. But now that I'm in the wedding, I'm sitting here, honoring you and him, knowing what you've done. Is that part of the reason why you say?
No, I'm going to live by
basic decency.
Right, I'm living by snitches get stitches.
Okay.
I'm telling on him immediately.
Wear your Vaseline, honey.
Right.
Because
I mean, friends, wedding, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just not right. Like, you're going to continue a relationship, or in this case, make a lifelong
legal
commitment
union, yep.
knowing you lied, you cheated. At least give him the opportunity to be able to forgive. He might forgive. We don't know.
Yeah.
He could be a nice guy. He could understand. He could pull out some stops and say, oh, that's okay. I slept with my ex too. I mean,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but he doesn't even get that choice. He doesn't
You're
get that
right.
opportunity. She takes that away from
You're
him.
right. You're right.
And I just don't think that's right.
You're right. Absolutely. And like now, not a month before the wedding, not a few weeks, but like right now.
It should have been done before, like when you found out.
And
I
don't
would
know
have
how
given
much
her,
time has
listen,
passed.
you need to talk.
Would
Or
you
I'ma
tell the
talk
friend?
for you.
Yes. Would you either tell him or I'm going to tell him? Or
Right.
maybe we can have a group Zoom.
Oh, it's a group Zoom. I prefer the Microsoft Teams these days over
Teams
Zoom.
is bugging. I mean, Teams is lit.
It's a little glitchy.
Sometimes.
But
I like all the features.
Yeah,
and
I also
stuff.
like when you're inviting people that aren't in the circle, you have to admit them. I could decide.
Yes, they wait in
Am
the
I
waiting
done
room.
talking about you yet so I could
Ding
admit
dong.
you?
Let them in.
But it's got to be before the wedding, because if it doesn't, the parties involved need to make a choice.
Yeah, you can't let him walk blindly into this legal union, knowing eventually it's probably going to come out and it's probably going to result in a divorce, maybe.
Or maybe he already knows.
Why would you say that?
And he's gonna pull something at the
He's
wedding.
not going to show up?
Or say something at the wedding to embarrass her in front of her friends and family.
You always go the not even the Lifetime route, the BET route.
Sometimes,
You want hoes to fight.
sometimes people are vindictive, and if they get that hurt, sometimes they want to hurt back.
Yeah.
Who knows what he's doing? Maybe he's just waiting to see if she's going to tell him.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I don't know if you would wait till the day if you're that vindictive, you would just wait for it to happen instead of like calling her out on her shit now. I don't know.
Or maybe they already did talk about it and they just didn't share it back with the friend that they talked about it. And now she's stepping in something.
And yeah, now she's in the middle and she's losing both
because
of them.
didn't she say that their relationship improved now that she has closure?
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
Yeah.
How do you know that their relationship improved? How do you know she got closure? I mean, there's a lot of angles here. Maybe she has a secret crush on one of them.
Stop it.
I mean, it's not unrealistic.
It's not.
So now I'm starting to change my mind. Like, maybe you shouldn't meddle in other people's business.
That's what I was initially thinking.
I'm torn on this
okay,
one.
so it would be different if, I mean, sure, there are couples out there who the women are just friends and there's no kind of couples dating going on, and so would you have an obligation to tell the husband if you aren't even close to him and you're just close with the wife? I don't think so. I mean,
yeah,
loyalty with your bestie over anything. But since it's a quad, y'all hang out all the time.
Yeah.
As a twofer, you and her and your husbands together.
Maybe this is her way of breaking up the quad. I mean,
she tired of doing the boot scoot boogie every fucking Friday at the TGI.
She don't want to be a side hustle anymore.
But yeah, I'm kind of with you too on the morals. Like, just morally, like she said, if this guilt is eating her like that, then you tell the friend, hey, I'm not comfortable with none of this. I'm not comfortable with maintaining, continuing to be your maid of honor, knowing this secret that I know it's really eating me alive. I prefer if you deal with it before I do. Or the wedding's off.
Right.
Because I can call this whole thing off as the maid of honor. I air your shit out to everybody. Okay? Stop putting me in this shit.
So she could go that route, but then just bow out of the wedding. Right? Say,
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him, but I can't stand by and watch.
That's an option, yep.
She's messy. This is what I decided. She's messy. She's trying to start some trouble. She wants to expose it.
But the guilt.
Please, you don't have no guilt. You are playing in the mud. You are playing in the mud, lady. You just trying to start some trouble.
Okay, so would we say it was the friend's fault, the cheater's fault? Why are you telling everybody about this? Why does your maid of honor even know about your tryst?
You know what? That's a good point.
When you know it's the four of us always hanging out, why are you bringing me into this shit? Now I'm in it, and I feel like you should tell your husband. Thanks for telling me that you had a fling with your abusive ex.
It wasn't a fling. It was closure.
Look.
Allegedly.
Look.
Allegedly closure.
Look. Lace wig closures lay down better than this fuck shit. Okay? Tired of y'all.
Where do I get one of those? You know, I ain't got no
From
hair.
From the beauty supply, honey. Amazon.
They got one around here?
Yeah.
Oh, we need to go right now.
Hook you up. And then take it to the barber and let him shape it up for you. Won't even know it's a wig. Deception.
I
everywhere.
think that's a good point, though.
What?
That she is not being a good friend to her maid of honor by sharing this secret.
Brought her right on into the middle of it.
Right. You're in the mix now. You got to either get in the mix or get out of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, now I'm in the camp of she just needs to separate herself from the foursome.
Separate from the foursome. Denounce your maid of honorship. And denounce the friendship.
I think so, because it's not really a friend.
It's too messy.
I mean, are you really a friend if you bring somebody into that?
I mean, I suppose she could have just been like, this is my bestie, so let me tell you what I did, kiki, but not understanding the downward consequences of sharing this when you hang out as a quad.
Right. Because if it was the situation that you talked about where the two women were good friends and the fiance is just, we hang out, but I've got a loyalty to my friend here, then I could understand sharing that. But
knowing what you know, the guilt is all yours. You either take it and swallow it or bake that cake.
She's going to have to, that cake is not good. You know that cake is not good. Bake that cake.
Look, either swallow your guilt or bake the cake. And bake the cake is air everybody's shit out. Air it all out.
Get the billboard. Put it up on the signage.
I told you. Or maybe I haven't told you yet. I don't know. I can't say. I was going to say 2022 is the year of the hands. Everybody can get these hands, okay? I feel like your friend might want to fight you after, this. But Matt had a good point in the beginning. Give her an opportunity to tell. If she's like, nope, I'm not doing. Well, actually, she even says a thing. She refuses to tell him. So we already know
she don't want
to.
Out him. Now I'm back to out him.
Back up. Oh, wait, what?
I mean, if she's refusing to tell, that tells me that they had a conversation about telling someone. So now she's knowingly going to hurt someone again.
True.
She hurt him once, and he doesn't know that he was hurt. Now she's going to hurt him again by not telling him and refusing to say something.
That's it. I'm glad you got your closure, but this thing is wide open for me, okay? I'm going to close it. Well, what if I need some closure? I just can't stand the guilt anymore, and I need closure by telling your husband.
Maybe the husbands just need to talk. What is the husband's role in all this? Because she said she was married, too. I want to know where he stands.
Did I say anything about him?
I don't think so. I really think that, she's messy.
She's going rogue on this. It's just my husband and I are very close with her and her husband. So that's a good point. Did this author even tell her husband what's going on? Or is she keeping it to herself?
Another level of hurt. Messy.
Because I feel like if she told her husband, he would definitely probably go and tell the fiance.
Right, because you take care of your friends.
Yeah.
You don't live to see them be hurt.
I don't know. You guys, there'll be a poll at the end of this episode. You tell us what you would do for story number 4. Would you either remove yourself from the situation, back up out of the quad, back up out of the maid of honorship, and just let them live in their mess? Or would you actually go through with baking the cake, aka telling the fiance that his fiance is a cheating ass scallywag.
Not the scallywag.
I just love that word. Y'all should use it in a sentence today too. And so back to what we said about my best friend absolutely refuses to tell him, as she knows this is his deal breaker and he'll leave her, plus will expose all the other lies she told him about this particular ex. So she's just in a world of shit.
Leave her lying ass where it belongs, at the altar.
But man, I keep going back and forth. This is a marriage. It's not like we're saying continue with your as boyfriend and girlfriend. This they about to be locked and loaded. They maybe be starting to have kids soon. Like, nip it in the bud before all of the rest of the world's heart breaks.
Right, but she refuses to do it. So she's clearly not interested in righting the wrong. She is interested in closure.
Yeah,
and
planning her wedding.
Planning the wedding and sticking with the guy that she's lied to, cheated on, which is setting up that relationship for all kinds of great success in the future.
A nice crumbly foundation.
Right. What else did you lie about?
Exactly.
Is your name really whatever her name is?
Right. So we're wishy-washy. Wait, what's your final thought? Tell him, don't tell him. Simple as that.
I say tell him.
And I'm going to say ghost everybody. Fuck them.
Right.
That's not your mess. That's not your circus. What's the thing? Not my circus, not my clowns. Because that's too heavy for me. I would have to bow out. I'd catch syphilis before I was maid of honor in that wedding.
I mean, you went to that degree that you're going to catch an STD?
I mean, I wouldn't touch that wedding with a 10-foot pole. No, not for me. I'm not standing up there fake smiling for nobody.
I agree
knowing
with that.
What I know.
I agree with that. No fake smiling. Mm-hmm. But I still think she should tell him.
And that's that on that. Next story. This one's titled, "My husband of 3 years said something I can't move on from." So she says, "We have a job that requires us to wake up very early in the morning. We've been working a cubicle away for the past couple of years. That's how we met. He usually wakes up before me and makes me breakfast. He's been doing this since we got married. He's sweet and caring like that. He's also the funniest, genuine, and friendliest person I know. I love him, and I know that he loves me back." Girl, I hope so. The hell? Marriage?
3 years?
She's saying some basic stuff. Yes, he should love you and be friendly to you. I'm sorry. "Our relationship has always been stable. Now I'm not sure. Today, in the morning while we were having breakfast, he calmly asked me to kill him if I ever caught him cheating. I initially brushed it off as a joke and replied likewise. Then he said that he'd kill me if he found me cheating, and he would enjoy it. I didn't know how to react. I just got chills. He's never been like this, and I can't imagine him saying things like this. All day at work, I've been thinking what I did wrong. Did he read my messages and find something off? Did he see me talking with someone inappropriately? I don't know. What should I say to him? I want a divorce."
Right.
Is what the fuck you should say to a man who said he would kill you and enjoy it.
Listen, you didn't know you were marrying a sociopath? Listen, if you're going to marry Dexter, you know you're marrying Dexter. That's all I have to say. Like,
the blood under his fingernails would have been the first clue.
First clue. But here's the question that I have. She's worried about, did he read something? You got something he shouldn't be reading?
You know what I mean?
I mean, again, we're in a position where we have a couple who everything is beautiful.
Oh
we work together.
Did
he make her breakfast that morning?
Yeah.
You know, I wonder what he made.
I wonder if it's got some Benadryl in it or something.
Seriously.
What he been putting in your food? Like,
what she should have done was gone Kathy Bates on him in Misery and put his ass in the room and chained him up.
Put them ankles to blocks.
Right.
Okay.
You put the ankles to blocks and find out why you're going to enjoy killing me. Exactly. I need to know now.
Why are you saying this to me today out of the blue?
out of nowhere.
Kill me if you ever catch me cheating, and I'll kill you too if I catch you. Like,
Listen,
what kind of
She
conversation?
should have just stood up with the knife and went after him at that point.
It's
I mean, I'm not
self-defense.
advocating violence.
I mean, I
obviously.
am. I
Okay,
am.
I could be too.
I am.
But
them fighting words.
how are you going to tell someone you enjoy it? Like, yeah, you're right.
That's fucking scary.
What should I say to him? I want a divorce.
Say
Just
it
like
from
you
say
said.
it from 20 miles away though.
Right.
Say it when you're not in the
Over
same
text.
space. Say it over text.
Or take the day off, let him go to work, pack up the house, and move the hell out.
This is the girl.
Right. Oh, no. You think she's writing from her perspective? Oh, this is some plot twist right here. You got two stories that are related.
Woman. Like back to the first story. I have no idea what I could have said.
Right. She figured out he was a sociopath.
This is crazy.
I mean, there's really.
I don't even know why this person wrote it. Like, are you writing from witness protection? Are you writing from up in a basement somewhere? Do you need help? Like, are you okay? God damn it!
If you're not writing it from there, you should be, because he said he was going to enjoy it. You need to get out of that house right now. And by the way, file a harassment complaint at work because he harassed you to marry him. Because
it was under duress.
Right, he was under duress. You were coerced. Whatever you have to say.
Oh my God!
Get him fired from the job and move across the country right now.
You're absolutely right. Because while I'm saying, oh, tell him I want a divorce from 20 miles away, you still work with him. So
Right.
You got to cut all connections.
Everything. And please don't call the sister and ask what happened.
Fuck.
Just don't. Just move out. Get on with your life. If someone tells you, again.
Can I read it again?
Yeah.
Today, while we were having breakfast, he calmly asked me to kill him if I ever caught him cheating. I initially brushed it off as a joke, and I replied likewise. Then he said that he'd kill me if he found me cheating, and he would enjoy it.
Girl, he's about to kill you.
In the scene.
Girl, he's about to kill you. You need to go. He's
too
calm.
Someone who would say something like this, anything you do or anything he finds on your phone could be like grounds for killing.
Right.
He can see you talking to your uncle and don't know that's your uncle and be like, who is this man? You're dead. Like anything.
The fact, wait, I want to unpack something real quick. The fact that she started to wonder, did she do something? Did she talk to someone? Did
Get paranoid?
She was paranoid, maybe not because she was doing something, but because he was abusive mentally.
Yeah.
Because maybe he's brought it up before. Right. Gaslighting. Or that she, like when you were saying before how you say one thing, keeping those receipts over time. But damn, I'm going to enjoy it.
Did he see me talking with someone inappropriately? So I got a neighbor and I'm saying, hey, John, thanks for mowing my side of the grass. And he's in the background like,
right.
You like John? Like it could be anything could set him off to fulfill the little agreement that he tried to have with you.
It's a Dexter Bigfoot combination you don't want to get messed with. Like, you just need to get out of that relationship stat.
Please do not.
Maybe we should call her sister and let her know she needs help. She needs protection.
Molly, you in danger, girl. Let Whoopi tell you, you are in danger.
Yeah, she is. If things were so calm and he said onto her,
"While you having bacon,"
and I'll enjoy it. No.
That is, I'm not even married to the man, and I'm ready to close my blinds right now.
This is some Lifetime movie.
It is.
This is a Lifetime movie that we're about to see this week.
And then, so you're writing. I'm assuming you're using, a laptop or your phone to type this into Reddit. Like you said, he checks your phone, so maybe you shouldn't even be posting this.
Oh no!
What if he finds your story? Like,
do we have confirmation she's still okay?
No. I'm looking right now and people are actually saying, do you have an update? Are you okay? Because she never came back to answer any questions. Some people come back and...
I think you should type in the comments, check on Facebook. We'll know if she's okay. Or call her sister.
This woman is... she needs a life alert button because...
Oh, yeah.
Somebody, she should have been able to press a button and get somebody to... What happened after that? You came to Reddit to tell us the story, but after he said, I
Did
would
you
enjoy
go to
it.
work?
Did you go to work? Did y'all ride together in the car silently while listening to Phil Collins? Like, what did y'all do?
She better watch her back. If their cubicles are next to each other, something might fall suddenly from the sky behind her. I'd be nervous. I got to quit the job.
So that's a good point, Matt. I'm not even talking into the mic. What if, we get close to people at work, right? And so what if she's got like work buddies, or he's seen, because that keeps nagging me that she says, what have I done? Did he see a message? Did he see me talking to maybe you had a conversation at work and he overheard? I'm not trying to put the blame on her, but something has to like flip a switch.
Yeah, I'm still going with the fact that I think he was probably mentally or verbally abusing her for quite some time. Because if you have to be paranoid about that,
it's fucking scary.
Somebody made you paranoid
Somebody
about
made
that.
you paranoid.
Or like you said, or I said, one of us said, you're shady and doing something wrong to begin with.
Yeah, because the signs where you have to look back and say, well, shit, did they catch me? Like, what, let me screw up my text, and did I say something inappropriate on Facebook? Like, maybe he...
Do they work in IT? You think maybe she scrubbed her computer and he works in IT and was able to go in the back and look at it?
Anything is possible.
Because
with these people.
Once you delete it, it ain't ever
not
deleted.
Really gone. It's still in Mark Zuckerberg's back pocket.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And he could be subpoenaed at any time. That makes me very afraid for this person. And I hope... So, Matt, she asked you a question. She said, what should I say to him? Realistically.
Goodbye.
That could go really bad, man.
Maybe she should say nothing and just leave.
That's a
because
ghosting.
She's in danger.
Yes,
She's
that's
in
an
danger.
opportunity to ghost. That's when I would ghost.
Yes.
That's when I would leave without saying
because we have the facts. He literally said he would kill you and enjoy it. I'm not even worried about the killing part. The enjoyment part is what scared me. How are you going to stay with someone who's going to enjoy it? This is some Dexter situation.
And add you to his scrapbook, honey. He's going to add your sliced off fingerprint to his scrapbook.
Oh, no.
This is scary.
Just move.
Leave.
Leave.
No, for real. Like ghost. Like Men in Black. Take all your things. You know what, Matt? But that's the thing. Like, it's not like he works at a different company and you can come home while he's at work and be like, they work together.
You could get a new job. You got to leave.
No, I mean, like, how do you... So you're saying, like, don't even collect your shit. Like, don't even pack. Yeah. Okay.
Your life is way more important than some notebook or pen or picture you got at your desk. And the picture is probably of Psycho anyway. But I do think you should do the right thing and alert the HR department. You got a psychopath working in your company.
So let's talk about that. Like, this is a personal issue between me and my husband. He said some crazy shit to me at home. Do I need to tell my HR
Yes.
person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we don't know if this is the first time, the only time. Will he do it in the future?
What if he actually follow through with it?
Right. What if he's thinking about killing someone else, the manager, another coworker, for whatever reason? I think she should tell somebody there, but she should make sure she is safe first.
Absolutely.
But then she's got to let people know, because something's not working upstairs in that brain of hers.
Yeah. Oh, and his. Sheesh.
That's a lot.
Y'all really out here married to psychos, huh? Damn.
This is why I stay off the market.
Seriously. And please, I hope you have no kids, because that's another level of insanity if you got to share babies with a...
Mm-mm.
All right.
Do you think they had babies in 3 years? I mean, it's possible.
People get babies within 6 months of being married. Sometimes they just can't keep their hands off.
SOS to this lady. If you got kids, take them with you.
Put the Batman signal. There's a beacon. You need to sound the alarm. Beyonce said, sound the alarm. Okay. No, she said ring the alarm. I'm wrong. Ring the alarm. You're in danger. For
danger.
Real. Next story. Story number 6. We're almost done. The next story is titled, I broke down and admitted to my wife that I was having an emotional affair with a coworker, but I don't think she believed me.
What? She didn't believe you when you factually told her you... Okay, this is going to be interesting.
Listen, okay? Listen. So this man who's 38, his wife is 36, I've been with my wife, Deja, for over 18 years. I love her with all my heart, and I never thought I would be in this situation. I work in a law firm office, and I have been there for almost a decade. It started when I met Sue. She was hired as a new secretary, and we hit it off from there. My wife knows about Sue and has met her a couple of times. It started off small enough, but then we started texting all the time. She would text me when she got home late or when she was going out somewhere with someone new. We would hang out regularly, things like that. But what really scared me into confessing was that I started to think about Sue even when she wasn't there. I would think about her just as much as I thought about my wife. I talked to my sister, and she told me that I was in an emotional affair. She said it would only get worse and deepen, and that it was only right that I tell my wife. A week ago, I sat Deja down and admitted to her that I had cheated on her with Sue. She was confused and asked if I was joking. I told her that I was serious, and I showed her all the texts that I had from Sue. She looked at me and asked if I had slept with Sue. I said no. She asked me if I'd ever been physical with her, and again, I said no. She asked how did I cheat on her then, and I told her that I emotionally cheated on her and that I was sorry. To my surprise, she just laughed really hard. She wanted me to clarify what emotional cheating was, so I showed her all the info that I had, but she said that it was just sounded like I was a really good friend. She asked if I had a crush on Sue, to which I agreed. I was beginning to have a small attraction towards her. I was waiting on her to be angry or sad, but that only seemed to make her laugh more.
She's done with his dumb ass.
Was she doing the same fucking thing? I asked her what was so funny, and she said that I was being too hard on myself and that as long as I don't cross the line into physical territory, that I'm good. She said she'll forgive me if it makes me feel better, and went back to doing what she was doing. She's been giggling about emotional cheating days later. I'm extremely confused on what to do now. On one hand, I'm glad my wife took it so well and that it didn't affect our relationship, but I still feel bad about this whole crush nonsense. I don't know what to do. Please help.
Terminate your employment. I don't know. The secretary.
Get away from Sue.
Right, Sue. Okay, Sue ain't going anywhere. And okay, so okay. All right.
Back up.
Just back up. She laughed when you told her you were having an affair. She wants a divorce, sir. I mean,
really?
There's nothing to do but find one of the attorneys in the little law firm that you work with.
Yeah,
that
you
can
got
help.
resources. You got resources right in your back pocket.
And maybe ask Sue out on a date.
Yeah.
Because your marriage is over, sir.
So I didn't go that route in my thinking when I first read this. I thought she's being so light on you because this bitch is doing the same thing. She probably got a work husband. She got crushes. She doing the same thing. And she looking at you like, oh, you poor little, you bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Let me show you the 15 people I'm conversing with on my text messages.
And whose lips I've actually touched. Okay, right. And you in here talking about, I think about Sue. Oh, that's cute.
She asked him, there's nothing physical. He said no. She's like, oh, at least he's cheating and I'm doing worse than him.
I'd say we're even here, buddy.
Right.
Let me go back to doing what I was doing, which is texting somebody else. Yeah.
So you can have work friends. Like I've had work friends. Mm-hmm. I've had work friends that were married, that were dating, that were single. And I can think back to several people that I felt very close with. Mm-hmm. And I think to some degree when you're friends with people, there is an emotional connection.
Yeah.
You care for one another differently than I would care for someone in the office that I don't talk to every day.
Yep.
Why did he think it was emotional cheating? Like you went again, we've got a family member involved. He asked the sister, what does she know? Did he show her the text? Did he go through his proof of evidence to the sister so that she could make a murder proof so that she could make a determination on what the relationship was?
I think what it is, what kind of kicked it over the friendly office person line was the attraction that's building. He's starting to be attracted to her. So what's after attraction? You've already been talking and building this emotional bond. Now I think you're pretty. What's next after that? We hang out all the time. Our hands brush. We look long like it's a romantic comedy waiting to happen, man. The attraction is the key here.
And the wife is like, go ahead, bro. Take the next step.
I dare you. So that you can be the reason for the divorce that I already want.
Right. She hits record. Can you say that again? You emotionally cheated on me. I need the evidence for the divorce lawyer. Right.
Exhibit A recording from my dumbass husband saying that he's in love with somebody.
He's admitting to being in love with someone else.
Yeah.
So
how would you feel if, your partner came and said, I like somebody at work and I'm sorry, I want to confess to you. I would be upset. Deja sounds like a psychopath, but I would be upset.
Yes, I absolutely would be upset. But did it say how long they were married?
18 years.
18 years. Okay, so in 18 years, that's a long time. He was 38 years old. Mm-hmm. So, they got married very young. 20 years old, right? Mm-hmm. Things change.
Yeah, people grow apart.
And maybe this is Deja's way of saying, go ahead.
Sow your royal oats.
Right.
Be free, my man, because I'm free already.
Right, I've been free for 16 of the 18 years.
Right, I've been doing that since year 10. You haven't been? Oh,
catch up, sir. Catch up. But so yeah, to your question, I would be upset. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But if you have an 18-year relationship, again, remember, I'm off the market and single, so I don't actually know this to be fact of what couples do, but couples out there would tell us. But I would think that you would want to have a conversation to say, why did this happen?
Yeah.
What it was something missing from our relationship that steered you that way.
Yes.
That stuff doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
You don't just start exchanging messages with someone when you're married to someone else and say it just happened.
Exactly.
You were seeking something from Sue. Seeking Sue. Mm-hmm. Wait, wasn't there Suddenly Seeking Susan? Wasn't that a movie with Madonna in it?
I don't know.
Suddenly
he was seeking romantic comedy.
Suddenly he was seeking Sue, but he was seeking something. He was missing something that he was getting from Sue.
Yeah.
That he pursued it because he could have
cut
it off. Right.
Yeah, it kept escalating.
He pursued it. So if you have an 18-year relationship, something is broken.
Yeah.
And maybe Deja's broken. She don't want nothing to do with him anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's trying to get a gold star for making an admission of guilt.
Exactly.
Here.
That's what he wants.
Sir, you want forgiveness. Could you find out why you were pursuing this in the first place?
Yes. Can you, because it said it started off small enough and then we just started texting all the time. Is Sue married? I would be interested to know that. Is she in a relationship or married, or is she out here single and now you texting and liking a single lady? Like, it's only downhill from here, Mike.
Right.
Like, you're married. Like, unless you cut this, Matt, would you cut it off?
So
even though Deja seems to not give a damn, as in your own integrity,
but what we don't know about Deja is some people respond to hurt or anger in laughter. She could be laughing and truly be hurt or upset. Some people don't know how to express that emotion, so they'll laugh it off, right?
Yep.
Or you take the focus off of the topic at hand and put it somewhere else. But the one thing I would advise everyone in the world, if you start dating someone at work, one of you leave your job, because at some point, if it doesn't work out, you're both unemployed.
Yeah. And to Matt's point, so at some point when it doesn't work out, you bitches are going to be at my doorstep as your HR person. I got to deal with your relationship.
100%.
Leave me out of it, okay?
100%. But also, he says that there were a good exchange between him and Sue. Mm-hmm. What was Sue's perspective? Sue might have just thought he was a good friend and not thinking there's an emotional attachment there.
That's true,
and
too.
He's living in a fantasy world.
That's true, too.
Something is lacking in your marriage that you need to address with Deja.
Absolutely.
And if Deja truly doesn't give a fuck,
that's also a problem.
Divorce.
That is also a problem.
Right.
twofold. If Deja gives a fuck, you have a problem and y'all need to do it. If Deja still doesn't give a, that's also a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't, it's not going to end well for him.
No.
Regardless, unless they work through their issue.
Yep.
And come to a determination that they both are comfortable with. But
yes.
I mean, when did he find time to text? This is the other question I have. If all this text is going hot and heavy, you ain't spending any time with Deja?
That's a good point. Are you hiding under the covers at night texting Sue? Because she texting you when she gets home late. What is that about?
Right.
I made it home safely.
Were you together?
Thank you, baby. I was so...
Were you together and you wanted to know she made it home okay?
Yes!
You know, Mr. I'm innocent having an emotional relationship. Let me just say this to you. How many men do you know would cheat emotionally first before physically?
0.
To me, I think it's very rare.
Right.
I don't know.
You thinking there's some butt cheek touching or something?
Oh, there's definitely some heavy petting. Something's going on over there. And Sue is allegedly in for it. If she's buying into this, I'm going to, how many times you tell Sue I'm going to leave my wife?
Exactly. Sue is talking to you and you're a married man. She's a scallywag. Okay. Call a scally. She's a scallywag.
Oh, I think Deja has a good foundation to get what she needs out of this divorce.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And like I said, she should hit the record button and make him say it again.
But Matt, that's only if she isn't doing the same thing. Because while I love your interpretation of that laughter thing, just being awkwardly hurt and not knowing how to, respond in a normal way. I'm putting that in quotes. You respond however you want to respond. Everybody's different. But I felt like when I read this, I was like, oh, Deja doing the same thing. So now that you doing it, she's like, phew, like, God damn, like
off the hook.
Right, I'm off the hook. We even. That's the first thing I thought. But maybe she is hurt and she gathering her receipts so she can call her divorce attorney. It's not gonna get better. You have to, if you care about your marriage, you're gonna have to talk to Deja. You're gonna have to cut this shit off with Sue. You can't keep doing this with Sue.
Again, the Lifetime Network has another story idea
Factually.
Here. Falling in love with the coworker at the job.
Because somebody gonna get hurt.
Clearly, they already hurt.
No, I mean physically.
And they'll enjoy the hurting.
You know the antithesis of a Lifetime movie is somebody's tires getting slashed and then their throats.
And they see it coming, too, on top of it.
Yep.
They're just unaware, but aware.
Exactly. I believe that's called weaponized incompetence. Use it in a sentence today. Okay. Next story. Story number 7 is titled, I was reprimanded for not participating in office gossip.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Who reprimanded you?
Mm-hmm. All right. So this person says, a coworker approached me at my desk and began complaining and gossiping about a fellow colleague. It had nothing to do with me. It wasn't in a private area, and honestly, it just wasn't something I was interested in since I have no issues with either party. So I'd said something along the lines of, this isn't my drama, I really need to focus on my work, and then I walked off to take care of things. She complained about that response to another colleague. Of course, I heard about that too. And then my supervisor tells me I need to work on my attitude and be nicer to my colleagues.
Oh.
I asked for any specifics at all she could give me because I was not expecting that feedback at all. And I genuinely wanted to ask to work on my self-development. A vague criticism keeps me up at night. That incident was the only one alluded to. To my knowledge, I haven't received any other complaints, and generally speaking, I'm fairly certain I'm on very good terms with my colleagues. To be fair, I almost certainly came across as rude to her, but I would never complain about someone who didn't want to get involved in my personal drama at work, so I'm a little frustrated. I'm disappointed my efforts to not get involved with the drama ended up backfiring so spectacularly. Anyone have any tips on how to avoid getting dragged into workplace drama and gossip and toxicity? Any advice for canned responses that can't possibly be perceived as rude for excusing myself from sticky situations?
Work from home. That wasn't what he was looking for. They're in the office. Is his desk by the water cooler that invites conversation?
Exactly. Exactly. You are in the line of fire for everybody's fucking drama.
Right.
That's crazy.
And was the gossip about the supervisor? I want to know, because maybe that's why she's mad, because he wasn't getting involved, and who knows?
Right.
But okay, so I think that you shouldn't be rude to people if you don't want to be involved in gossip. There's very polite ways to say you don't like. Hey, I don't like to get involved in gossip. I'm going to focus on my work. If there's a work-related topic, we could talk. That's not my drama. What? I mean...
Well, we don't know how they said it. This isn't
that
my
would be how I would say it.
This isn't my drama, and I really need to focus on my work. And then they walked away.
Right. So that's how I would say it. Mm-hmm. This is not my drama. Very aggressively, obviously. But because I can give the advice, I just can't take the advice. But... you're concerned about your like, I don't understand. You want to know, you want feedback about being rude to people?
Well, so when the supervisor tells me I need to work on my attitude and being nicer, the person asks him, well, what specifically are you talking about? Because, you know, I care about self-development. Tell me specifically what I did so that I can correct it. The supervisor didn't, so he or she is assuming it's because of being rude or how they said this to that gossipy, negative Nancy person.
Here we are with the office narcissist again, who doesn't think he's rude, and the first fault that he has is that he's assuming that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And shame on the supervisor for not giving specifics.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because if somebody is interested in furthering themselves or bettering themselves, whatever you want to call it, give them that opportunity. But you think that highly of yourself that you assume it's because you wouldn't get involved in the drama, but you don't actually know?
And I'm fairly certain I'm on very good terms with my colleagues.
Yeah. No, you're not. Maybe you thought you were on good terms because they came to you with the drama or the gossip, but you are no longer on good terms because you don't want to gossip.
You out the club, you in the burn book now, honey.
If the conversation starts, I'm not one to gossip, but you ain't heard it from me. You're in trouble.
In living color.
You are in trouble because you are gossiping.
Yes.
But for real, he must have an attitude or an edge to him that he's unaware of or is aware of and doesn't care because the supervisor told him. Mm-hmm.
Work on my attitude and be nicer to my colleagues. I'm with you. Like, if someone came over talking about Joanne for the 15th time, I'd be like, look, I don't give a damn about you or Joanne. I give a damn about these spreadsheets. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
So I'm saying that now, but if I were in the moment, you know, you're at work, you have to be professional. I guess what you said earlier, I'm really not interested in any of that. I'm behind on my job, or I'm behind on this. I got this project I need to do. Tell it to your mama. Like, I don't know. What do you say?
Go see Miss Jenkins. She likes to gossip.
You should see her hanging out a window right now.
She's waiting for you.
Yeah.
But
there is no real, like, why the fuck should I have to be nice to somebody who coming over talking shit, like, and then gets their feelings hurt and goes and runs and tells my supervisor, like, well, now all of y'all can get it, quite frankly.
But see, that's the difference. Like, you and I are savvy enough to know that the office gossiper is making shit up. Mm-hmm. So how you respond, you and I know, I'm just going to keep it professional because she's going to make it up however it was.
Switch it around.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but clearly he's not astute enough to know this.
Yeah.
Or maybe he is and I'm just being judgmental. Either one is okay with me.
Yeah. Right. I don't know how you could have. I guess the words that you said, that's not my drama, and, you know, I've got work to do, or whatever else they said. The words weren't the problem. Maybe your tone and demeanor was. But again, it's like, we're all fucking adults. Like, if I didn't call you out your name and say, bitch, get away from my desk, then what's wrong with my response?
I've always said, being in HR, if people would just focus on their work, we'd be a dangerous organization.
Worry about yourself.
Yeah, because
worry about them profits.
Right. People spend more time talking about others
worrying
and
about each other,
worrying about what everyone else is doing. Meanwhile, they're the ones on performance improvement plans, doing no call, no shows, not coming into work, acting foolish 18 ways till Sunday.
Yeah.
And nothing's getting done. Just keep the drama at home.
Have you ever dealt with someone at work? I'm sure we all have, but like a gossip Gertrude.
What?
A gossiping Gertrude who always came to you to tell you stuff and you weren't interested? Or maybe, like, what do you say? Nod your head. And so now they have, like, ammo, like, Matt agreed with me. He was nodding his head. Like, how do you get away from a person like that and let them know, I don't want to talk about it now, and don't come and talk to me about it tomorrow either? Like, never come back to me with drama. Yeah, how do you get someone out of your face?
See, the problem is you and I are too transparent. We would just be like, I'm not
It's all over my
this.
face.
Right. Go away.
It's all over my face.
I think you tell the person that I'm here to work and I'm not here to get involved in all of this gossip. It doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve who we serve in the company. Like, I know I'm getting all professional and some bullshit, but like, you could just tell the person I don't want to be it. But you got to be careful because if they gossip, they're going to gossip about your interaction.
Exactly. Can you believe this bitch told me to get away from her?
Right. So if that were me, I would tell everyone what I told her. I would put it on blast, send out an all-employee memorandum.
See, you're my worst nightmare.
Rent a billboard outside of the office.
That's why we got
building.
Restricted distro list. Okay, you're not going to be sending that now to my company. Okay, communication manager here. You're not going to be sending nothing out to all. Okay,
with grammatical errors and everything.
And fucking Times New Roman 13.5-inch font.
11.5 inch font.
Italicized. Every word is italicized and bold.
Underlined.
With emojis.
And then when you put the dates, you put 20 ST or 20 TH.
Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. APA guidelines here.
Listen, I know. We know who's not following the APA guidelines is
Gossiping Gertrude
over there. Gossiping Gertrude over there.
One of the people in the comments actually had a couple of nice sentences. You tell me what you think. Hey, can this convo wait until the lunch break? I'm really in the zone here and I need to make progress on this data today.
That translates to, bitch, I don't have time for this conversation.
The next one is, hey, I feel uncomfortable talking about this in the office space. If this is something I need to be involved in, can we find somewhere private this afternoon to talk?
Okay,
no,
2 things.
You're encouraging.
Do you need a tissue? Because you sound like you're going to cry. Number 2, right, you're encouraging. I don't want to talk about it now.
Later.
But let's talk about it later? No. That does not stop the gossip from happening.
She's just going to gather more.
Changes the location of the gossip happening.
And she's going to collect more throughout the day and then come to you at the end of the day. Look at all that I've gathered.
With her file of facts and just everything filed into order in manila folders.
A file of fuck shit. Get your ass away from my desk.
That's what you need to say.
I would love to say that if I wouldn't end up in Matt's office. Hey, I'm taking a drama-free day for mental health reasons. Is this something we should call a group meeting about? What the fuck is this response? A group meeting?
That's some Dave Matthews Band bullshit right there. I'm having a no drama day. Get your hippie ass out of here and go away.
Go hug a tree.
Right.
Let's focus on the positives today. It's a beautiful day and our jobs are amazing. I'm honestly just super grateful to work with everyone here.
Are you always that full of shit?
Do you take Metamucil?
Right. How about I don't gossip?
I don't gossip. I would prefer if you wouldn't tell me gossip about XYZ.
Or anyone. Anytime, anywhere,
I prefer actually if you would never talk to me about anything.
Again,
I don't want
get your ass out of here.
I don't want you to ask me where the printer paper is. I don't want you talking to me at all. Yeah, we're done with this story. I don't think, like I said, I don't think your words were wrong. Maybe, Gossiping Gertrude felt like personally attacked because you called her out like, I'm not for the drama. And if she feels personally like, oh, I am about the drama, she felt some certain way and then she went and told your boss on you. I don't think you necessarily did anything wrong. And you might have actually stopped her from coming back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He may have solved his own problem.
Exactly. By being quote unquote rude, even though I don't think you were being rude. Next story. Last story is titled Rock and a Hard Place. So this person says, okay, so I need advice. I'm currently in the midst of a work-related fight with a coworker of mine. I use the term fight because I struggle to come up with a better term for the situation. I've been at my job for 6 years, and for about 4 of those years, I've been in a supervisor position. There is this one coworker of mine that seems to have an issue with me. I have no idea why or what started it, but for months now, she's been shit-talking me to other coworkers. Literally, anything I do, she has a backhanded remark to make, even if whatever I said or did at the time had nothing to do with her. I've known about her running her mouth about me for a while, and I was ready to let it go, mostly because I know she doesn't have the balls to say anything to my face. But people talk, and it got back to me that this particular person had one point made the statement about how she just wants to shove, push/hit me. Well, that was the last straw for me. Little microaggressions, fine, whatever, not worth my energy. But saying you want to lay hands on me? Nope, not today, Satan.
Why you got to bring Satan into the mix, lady?
I went to my manager and told her about the situation. I told her what I had heard and that this needed to be addressed because there has to be some accountability. Now, my job has a zero tolerance policy when it comes to using threatening language or bullying amongst the staff. I know that these statements are merely hearsay at this point because they weren't said directly to me, but I'm pissed. Now, there is an investigation by the company's HR department, which is a whole process. I knew once I brought this up to upper management that there would be something like this, and I feel bad that other people will have to give statements, but I'm not working with someone who has threatened to put hands on me, even if it's simple conjecture. Fact is, this isn't the first time this particular person has had issues with someone they worked with. My manager wants to have a mediation between myself and the other person. I said I was open to it, but there has to be some accountability from them. They are free to not like me. I don't give a shit about that, but I do give a shit about their crap attitude and constant unsolicited commentary. How do I deal with this? How do I say in a professional way, I know that you've been talking shit about me and saying you want to shove me to other people? Yes, I know we all vent about our coworkers. I do it too, but what I don't do is say I want to physically harm them. And the only thing I've said about this person is that they always seem to have a smart remark and they literally talk shit about me when they think I'm unaware. Odds are they could get fired, which, given their past history, seems likely. Do I feel guilty that it could come to this? Half and half, if I'm being honest. I don't enjoy the thought of getting someone fired, yet actions and words have consequences. The end.
So, first of all, she needs to come in there like Miss Nene Leakes and say, I see you. Because, yes, I point the fingers to the eyes and show her because...
I know what you're doing.
I know what you're doing. There's a lot here. There's always a lot. I just have a lot going on in my brain at the moment, right? So, first of all, microaggressions, never okay. Never okay.
We can see them.
Right. You can see them. Fair.
We don't need a white light to see them. We can see them.
Right. Fair that some people may not realize that they're doing that. That is fair. Not right. Not right.
All right.
But you can't ignore them. And she's saying letting that go is part of the problem that will continue to perpetuate.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, nobody should lay hands on anybody, but you don't know it to be factually true. So her first course of action, let HR do their work.
Get them statements.
Get the statements, get the receipts so that you know what's happening. You can put them in your file of facts, whatever you want to do. But let HR do their work. She did the right thing going to the manager. If it were me, I'd quit my job and get revenge.
You always talking about fucking quitting, man. Look, we in a pandemic. We got worker shortages. You always talking about leaving.
The
You're always
job
telling
market,
somebody to quit.
but the job market's hot, and I got to get revenge.
Isn't revenge getting this bitch fired for running her mouth?
Well,
and saying you
that
might hit me.
could be it, but there's a whole host of people involved here that allowed this behavior to go on.
Sure.
So this isn't just about two individuals.
Mm-hmm.
There's other people involved who may have heard,
Mm-hmm.
may have witnessed,
encouraged it,
stood silent about it,
Mm-hmm.
and knew what was going on. I mean, there's something to be said there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just bigger than one other person. I believe it's hard to come back from that. So the manager is a dumbass. You don't have mediation.
Right.
Mediation is not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to bring everybody together that was involved in the situation? No, you are not. Mediation doesn't work. That is the manager displaying some aggression of saying, look, the two of you are going to get along, and that's just the way it's going to work.
Say you're sorry and
Right.
say you're sorry and,
Right.
and hug. Like, what? No.
Again, we're adults, not kindergartners.
Mm-hmm.
And so that not going to work. It's just not going to work. But HR will do their job. They will find out what happened. Unfortunately, it could come down to one person's version over another person's version. If there were no witnesses.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gotta think there are witnesses because whatever the shit talking was went through some people and then got back to the author. So there are, like you said, a bunch of people involved in this kind of quote unquote fight amongst these two people.
Let me plot twist for just a moment here. What if the author is guilty of doing some shit and this is her way to try to change the narrative of what happened?
Why would she need to change the narrative with us? We ain't nobody. We don't care either way.
Well, she went to the manager
Oh, you mean
to tell on the people.
Okay.
I mean,
so let me tell on you before you tell on me.
Right. Or let me tell on you because I want your job. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot that could be going on here. And that's why I say let HR do their job.
Right. So the manager you said was kind of goofy for trying to put these two people in a room and mediate.
Yeah.
Is that something HR typically would do? Or you
No.
keep them separate? You do individual investigations.
No.
You don't
Why
put people
would
in
you
a room
bring-
to fight, to argue.
Right.
That's all that's going to be.
This isn't the Hunger Games. Whoever comes out of the office wins. What the hell? I mean, that's
This ain't Judge Judy where we got a defendant and a plaintiff.
right. The people's court
Right.
inside the corporate office.
Yeah,
no,
that's not a good
what
idea.
that's going to do. It's not going to solve anything. Only increase the tension and use some old school methods that just frankly don't work. No, anyone in HR that does do that, you shouldn't be in HR.
Yikes.
I'm gonna say it again. Quit your job.
Log into Indeed right now.
Right. Get on ZipRecruiter stat. But that's what, you got to find out what is fact and fiction. And sometimes you can't figure out the facts. So you got to think about what is reasonable. Who can, what credibility factors do the parties involved have
Yeah.
that would sway you one way or another as the person looking into the situation. But at the end of the day, if somebody truly said they were going to put hands on somebody, they're not going to have a job there anymore.
Yeah.
Because if I can prove that, I'm terminating you.
Bye-bye.
You're going to go work for the unemployment office is where you're about to go.
You're going to go work for Mike Tyson.
Right.
Where you can lay hands on legally.
Legally. He just beat someone's ass on the plane.
He shouldn't have been talking behind that man's head. He shouldn't have been egging him on.
I don't even know what happened. I just saw that he beat someone on a plane.
So some knucklehead was behind him, like taunting him, like,
Then
like
he deserved to get beat.
I mean, it's the year of the hands. Apparently, we got Will
Right.
Smith. We
Listen,
got Mike.
planes, trains, and automobiles.
What this person said at the end of the actions and words have consequences. Everybody out there in America who keeps running their fucking mouth to people and think that nothing can happen to you because you do most of your talking behind a keyboard. Try
still
saying that
talking.
shit in the Aldi's parking lot.
Right. But even if you're doing it behind a keyboard, you're still talking, dummy.
Yep. Yeah.
And maybe you should be.
There's a lot of people out here who talk a lot of shit and think that they can't be touched. And unfortunately, everybody ain't like me and Matt who'll just give you a face. There's some people out here who put some hands on you for talking crazy. So stop talking crazy is really the antithesis of my point.
And mind your own business.
Mind your own fucking business. Why do people go to work and care about each other?
I know. Listen, we all have the same reason to go to work. We have bills to pay. We want to retire one day. We want to enjoy the life we have. There is nowhere in the rules that says you also got to talk shit about other people.
And be in people's business. Yeah.
And be in people's business.
Because then you jeopardizing our retirement plans.
And by the way, HR is the worst culprit of talking about other people, just so you know.
I know. We talk about all of y'all. You bring your problems in our office. We like, can you believe Peggy motherfucking Sue came in here again like she was innocent? We know what she doing at the water cooler. We know she talking crazy about people. I'm one documentation away from her being up out of here.
Right. If you don't have a friend in HR, get yourself one.
Exactly.
We have the best stories.
Yes.
The best stories. Because people just act like people at work.
Right.
It's the Montessori school. It's the kindergarten. Whatever you want to be. It is whatever you want to be. But adults behave badly.
It's crazy, like the shit that happens at work. And I'm sure like people out there, you guys, there's many people in everybody's company who are like the token like shit starters, stealers, thieves, general just bad workers. I hope HR does their investigation. Like Matt said, just let them do their thing. But what if it comes out to be unfavorable? What if the investigation finds that it's not worth anything and you still got to work with this person? Just avoid them.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. Clock in and clock out.
But in her defense, it is frustrating when someone isn't minding their business and talking smack about you.
Yeah.
I would have a hard time with that.
Is that a hostile work environment?
No, because usually hostile is when you've got an environment where others are contributing to make it, but nobody did anything about it.
Okay.
If I do an investigation and I can't prove what happened, at least I looked into it, right?
Okay.
So that's not really hostile in that sense. Some people think that it is, and
because it's making it unbearable for you to do your job. Like, fuck, I gotta wake up and go into here and listen to some shit she gonna say again today.
Right.
Like, it feels to me like it's just...
You just stand up for yourself in a professional way.
Yeah. Is it harassment that this person constantly...
It could be, but typically with harassment, you've got a quid pro quo component, and there really isn't. She's not getting anything for it. She's
getting emotional distress from you.
I would say more bullying.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it would be more bullying,
yeah.
And a lot of people say that companies have a zero tolerance policy.
That's what this person
that doesn't mean that they're going to be terminated because you told me they did it. I have to prove that it was done. Because at the end of the day, HR is there to protect the organization.
That's right.
Not the managers, not the employees, the company.
Right.
So I have to treat both parties not favor either party.
Yeah.
I have to go into it unbiased, ask the right questions, and I need to see the receipts. So keep the receipts.
Yeah, keep track of everything. If you ever find yourselves in an issue like this, where someone is perpetually like talking about you and it's coming back to you or doing things underhandedly, or keep documentation, because that's going to help you in the end when it comes to time to tell HR. You make their job easier, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay, so we're all done, BBK. What did you think of the stories today?
These were some really great stories. I like the mix of using that HR expertise and these lunatics that don't know what happened. I'm in a relationship and I don't know what happened. I mean,
we went from ghosting to
my husband's gonna kill me and enjoy it.
And calmly. We went to
after he made me breakfast.
For real, that's goddamn turpentine in it or something. fucking lighter fluid in my meal. Yeah, so there's more to come, and Matthew will be here joining us again one day.
Yes.
I want to thank him for joining me on this episode. I also want to thank my listeners for spending your commute, your work day, your workout, or whatever else you were doing while tuning in to the Relatable Reactions podcast. Be sure to subscribe and share the show with your friends and family. It's available on most podcast platforms. Lastly, if you know of a juicy or interesting story submitted on Reddit or somewhere else and you want to hear our relatable reactions to it, go ahead and send the link to relatablereactionspodcast@gmail.com, and I may feature it on the show and give you a shout out. I'll be gracing your ears again soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.